Welcome to another edition of the Audience Radio Show. I'm your host, Camilla, and coming up over the next hour, we've got a lot to get through. For a start, we'll be counting down the audience chart as voted by you on theaudience.co.nz. We'll also catch up with guest curator Martyn Pepperell and find out which new acts are his favourite, as well as chatting with Josh Edmonds from Newcomers Little Oceans. We started off the show today with Killing Bear, Sea of Despair. Right now it's time to revisit last week's number one. Can you remember who it was?
But things are looking up. Oh, yeah. I said I stumble, but I get up. Anyway.
That's right, it was Bailey with Looking Up. Can she retain her position at the top this week? I don't know. But soon we all will. Right, kicking off at number 10, it's Wellington band So Modern, who play The Stomach, that's an interesting name for a venue, in Palmy on the 22nd of March, and Space Monster in Wanganui on the 23rd. Here's an excerpt from Transpacific Express. We'll play the song in full in a minute.
All right, let's get started. Number 10. Number 9.
Seek and find all that you've been missing, and each time something more convincing, and your mind will grow to know.
This week, number 8.
Why didn't you just fix things like you said? Why didn't you just treat me good like you said? Why did you say those things if you did?
A song with a lot of swagger there, that's Hannah Leigh with Like You Said at number 8. And before that, in at number 7 was the Odd Chaps, who are an Auckland-based duo comprised of members Josh Griggs and Sam Brandford, who are only 17 and 18. Shortly we'll catch up with Martyn Pepperell and Little Oceans, but first let's take a listen to this week's number 10 in full. Here's So Modern with Transpacific Express. And joining us now on the line, we have special guest curator Martyn Pepperell. Hello, how are you?
Fantastic.
So whereabouts are you? Wellington?
I'm in Wellington indeed.
Represent.
Nice, sunny morning. Had a lovely evening last night. Went out and saw Lips open up for homebrew up at the Victoria University orientation. Came down and saw Gold Panda play at the San Francisco Bathhouse, and then ended the night at the Matterhorn at a jam session from the homebrew band and some of their friends.
You gig-going slut. That's meant in the most affectionate way possible.
From a place of love.
Yeah, from a total place of love.
Speaking from a place of love, you are a gig-going slut.
Hey, so Lips obviously featured heavily on the audience as well. Live performance-wise, how was that?
Fantastic, lovely. Steph was playing. She was playing a keyboard and a synth bass keyboard. She had a second keyboard player who was doing backing vocals and a drummer. And
wow.
She really had no problem dealing with that first-year homebrew audience. They were right into it.
Awesome. How cool. Good exposure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your favourite picks on theaudience.co.nz at the moment. What have you churned up for us?
Okay, the first one we're going to talk about, Here's No Use by Salad Boys, a Christchurch trio who work in the tradition of the whole Flying Nun sound.
Oh, cool. So how old are they?
Well, they were young guys. They'd be in their early 20s.
Okay, sweet as. Let's see. Do you know much about? Have you seen them live?
I haven't had the opportunity to see them live yet, but
Okay.
I purchased their record on cassette tape a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a bit of an ongoing correspondence with them since then. So
how archaic! Do you actually have a cassette player?
Yeah, I do. I've got a cassette player and a record player.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Well, let's check them out. What's this song called, Martyn?
It is called Here's No Use.
Thank you very much. Awesome, that is fantastic.
Cool.
Yep, I really enjoyed that. That's great. Now, what's next? Pick number 2.
Well, the next pick we have up, we are going to look at a Wellington electronic music producer called Fis and his song Mildew Swoosh.
Actually, that mildew. Oh no, I'm getting confused with Carb on Carb. They wrote about a flat that had mildew. What's with mildew being in songs a lot lately?
Well, I think quite often when you're young and you're looking to make a career in music, you probably end up living in quite a horrible flat or two at some point or another. Potentially the sort of flat where during winter the basement where you're making the music in is colder inside than it is outside.
And it becomes a bit of a theme. The
Yeah,
concept of it.
I think it's in the zeitgeist right now. I'm not entirely sure why.
Okay, cool. Let's check it out. If you've just tuned in, that was Fizz with Mildew Swoosh, Wellington-based electronic music producer, and Martyn Pepperell has selected his favourites from the audience.co.nz to share with us today, and we're up to your third selection. So what is it, Martyn?
Now, for the third one, we're going to listen to They Told Me by Raiza Biza, who's a Hamilton-based Rwandan rapper, and the song was created with his long-standing producer Graphics of Crime Heat Beats, and it's a sort of reflective piece of hip-hop where he takes us on a narrative journey through the last 7 years of his life, from being an unknown talent in Wellington to carving himself out a small reputation around the country over the last couple of years.
I wonder, so what took him from Wellington to Hamilton?
Well, I think it was a family thing, because when he was living in Wellington 7 years ago, he was a teenager.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you know, sometimes when you're a teenager,
Yes.
your parents move around, you have to move around.
Or you could just hang out by yourself.
But what I will say is that Hamilton has a very interesting music scene at the moment.
It does, doesn't it? Hamilton has been popping up a lot through the audience.
Hamilton has a lot of good rappers and electronic music beat makers, and a lot of them are immigrants as well. So there's obviously something going on in that Hamilton, somewhere affordable for people who've arrived in the immigrant community and are maybe slightly on their back foot, can somehow get things going on there. So and also, I mean, there's not a lot to do. So I suppose you have to stay home and make music or make art or do whatever you do.
It's a social. It's definitely an indication of the social the times, isn't it?
And it's funny because we used to always joke that Hamilton was Hamiltron, the city of the future.
But it actually is.
Yeah, it really is now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. Let's have a listen. So, Raiza Biza.
Yeah.
Such a great name. Hey.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's excellent. He's lovely. He was down in Wellington playing a show a couple of months ago, and we took him out for coffee at Customs Brew Bar, which is a single origin coffee brew bar. And after him and his friend got up and left, this group of girls came wandering over, and they were like, "Who was that? Where's he performing tonight?"
Really?
Yeah.
So he's got some fans already just by showing up.
Just by looking the part. So.
Oh, cool.
Like when you look the part and you sound the part, good things can happen.
Excellent. So one to watch. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Martyn.
Excellent.
I guess we'll be chatting with you in a couple of weeks again.
Cool.
Okay. Until then, take care and happy discovering on the audience.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Crime heat on the beat. Raiza Biza. Ammo up, YGB. Yeah. I spent a lot of time searching for the right zone. The glimmers of success had my mind blown. I spent too much time on figuring ways in which I might blow. This game can turn a saint into a psycho. Listening to Michael, thinking what was going on inside his mind that made him blur the lines between reality, this life though, right? Trying to fix my words like a typo in a world full of shortcuts like lipo. Followed by my ghost wherever I go. Figured out the reason that I rhyme for. It's for myself, so whether I'm moving records or I'm sitting on the shelf, it's good to know I did it for myself. You understand the conflict and getting everything you wanted, but sacrificing everything you honored, and they wonder why the stars plummet into a bottomless oblivion, lounging in depression with their millions. I thought about it as I let my reefer split. My gang was tailored to our needs like Khalifa's clique, disregarding those who claim we illegitimate. We here to get the most from life that we can get. Yeah. Roll up, show up, put it all up. I can feel it in the call all up. This is all up. Tell my people I'll be down. I'll be there. Put it all up. All my people I'll be calling up. All up. They told me, they told me. It's funny how a bunch of words scrawled inside a notebook could take you overseas like a boat could. Strolling through my old hood, Newtown Flats to be exact, where the mice and rats fight for scraps. I wrote this rap. I always fantasized that my name was in their memory, but truthfully, nobody there remembered me. Just another soul that used to stroll with his Adidas soles to the floor looking for who the hell knows. Music on, kicking rocks with my shell toes, living life through these headphones. When I'm in Wellington Wellington, I walk the same streets that I used to walk at 18 to reenact the same scene. I see a kid who tried to fit in, but didn't realize that he could take it further just by being different. In this paradox we live in, the only way to win is if you take the opportunities you give in. Now we trying to take our moves further. We took the good and the bad and we ran with them full circle. That's why we keep flowing. We trust us, we believe no one. We just keep going. Rolling, show up, put it all up. I can feel it in the air. All up, this is all up. Tell my people I'll be down. Show up, put it all up. All my people I'll be down. All up, this is all up. They told me, they told me.
Falling in love again, which is the boat that you're traveling in. Now you're sailing me back to the shore. Walk to the spot where we used to dive in. And I'm not afraid if it's right, and I'll be surprised if we're sinking tonight. Take a bite from the bitter end. Remember when it was alive and pretend. I found a place illuminated so bright. The cracks and lace are getting short tonight. The best fight. Some video queens. I don't remember if it's you that I've seen. The west side. Afraid of the thought to kick in. Lay at the place where I like to begin. As late as a lie or a line. He couldn't sleep with the thought that he tried. Stay for the rush and the sound. The light is a lie that is holding me now. The point of it all giving way. Alive and out loud and we'll cease if you stay. I found a place illuminated so bright. The cracks and lace are getting short tonight. The best fight. Work on the lustless and video queens. I don't remember if it's you that I've seen. The west side. Do you remember when it was just the luckiest find? Chase the pictures of this place to the back of my mind. Ageless side and we'll fade. It's a matter of time. When the lights and lines are smooth, it's the perfect design. I found a place illuminated so bright. The cracks and lace are getting short tonight. The best fight. Remember the lustless and video queens. I don't remember if it's you that I've seen. The west side. I found a place illuminated so bright. The cracks and lace are getting short tonight. The best fight. Remember the lustless and video queens. I don't remember if it's you that I've seen. The west side.
Welcome back to the Audience Radio Show. I'm Camilla, and joining us right now we have Josh Edmonds from Little Oceans. You're 1/3 of the band. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
So explain to us, it's Matthew Johnston, yourself, Josh Edmonds, and Sam Edmonds. Brothers, Josh and Sam?
Yeah, yep, Samson brother.
Ah, I see. So you guys grew up in Melbourne Sounds in a tiny little bay with only like 20 people living there.
Yeah, it was pretty isolated.
But I bet it was beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was really awesome, mate. It was a great place to grow up.
But where are you guys based now?
We're over in Nelson, which is like an hour over the hill from
big
that
smoke.
bay we grew up in, yeah.
So I guess there wasn't a lot to do around there except create.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was right by the sea, so we could do kind of, boating and swimming all the time, which is what we did. And it was in the bush as well, so we used to make huts, like, all day.
That sounds like heaven.
And, yeah, it was really cool. But apart from that, once we started the band, yeah, it was a really good place to, because we didn't have neighbours very close to us, so we could just jam out for, like, all day and not have to worry about getting, like, noise complaints and stuff.
Hey, you guys formed a band originally called Recommended by Your Mother, or recommended by your mom, sorry.
Yeah.
And you guys were inspired by Blink-182. You guys don't
Yeah.
really sound like that anymore. What happened?
Yeah,
What
we're
happened?
obsessed back then, eh? I think it's just you go through that age that it's just like you kind of rebel and then you
Get
just
your
want to
neck
listen to something
tattoos.
fast and yeah. We never got tattoos, but we definitely were like right into punk music and just stuff like that. And so we pretty much created the band because we were into that kind of music.
Yeah. So how many band members were there?
We started off with 5 of us.
Right, and I guess they all whittled away.
Yeah, we had one guy that went off to uni because he wanted to study instead of being in a band, which was probably a good choice.
Smart, and his
And then
parents.
we went through a couple of bassists, and then we kind of changed to Oceans.
So how did the direction change there? What sort of a shift? Obviously a bit more electronic.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like the new stuff we were writing was kind of going that way anyway, just because, I was the producer for the band, and so I was kind of getting right into like electronic software and stuff like that, and just seeing like what you could do, trying to like, it was just fun playing around with.
Yeah, right.
So the new songs we were writing were kind of heading in that direction anyway, and we were looking for a new name. I mean, like when people hear the name, once you've been in a band that's been labelled recommended by your mum for like 4 years, you kind of get sick of it after a while.
Yeah, I bet. You have to like just totally change your identity. Did you
Yeah,
dye
yeah.
your hair and stuff?
No, we didn't. Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't.
Thank God you
anything
didn't get
crazy
those
like that.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd be totally stuck. So you guys, last November, you were one of our winners. You received the wildcard funding from the audience.co.nz. How have you used that? You say you're in York Street Studios at the moment recording. Is that
Yeah.
connected?
Yeah, we've been in York Street recording the single that we won the grant for from the audience, the Wildcard chart, which was awesome. And it's an awesome experience being up here because we're from Nelson, so coming up to Auckland to record and one of the biggest studios is sweet. It's really really cool.
Yeah, pretty exciting for you guys. So what are your plans for the rest of the year?
We've got a couple of we've got a festival we're headlining next week,
Oh, cool.
which is going to be pretty cool. That's in Havelock, and then after that we're just working on heaps and heaps of new songs. Like, at the moment we've kind of pretty much got an album together, but we're just kind of fine tuning it, deciding what songs we kind of like and maybe ones we could miss off the album, and finishing off writing and producing it, and then we've just got to find a place to record it, and hopefully have that out by sometime. Mid-year we're aiming for.
Awesome. That's fantastic. You guys are destined for big things.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's cool to start to get some momentum and stuff.
Yeah.
We never really got that with our old band. It was more just kind of like, have fun, jam away at home, and then, that was kind of all we really saw of it. But, we definitely feel we're getting a bit of momentum now, which is great.
That was like your band with trainer wheels.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I always look back and think like, that was the best way to start. Like, it was a whole lot of fun. We did all the hard yards. We've had the crap shows where you play to no one.
Yeah.
And now, it's like, it can only really get better from here kind of thing.
Yeah. No, so true. It's a hard life being a musician. I mean, I'm not a musician, but everyone I speak to is kind of in the same boat. But it's exciting that you guys are in the genesis of it all now. You can roll your sleeves up and take the funding and go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Josh. It's been a total pleasure.
All good.
Best of luck for recording as well. I'll let you get back
great.
to it.
Cheers, thanks for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. There you go, Josh Edmonds from Little Oceans.
Kinda lost cause because she's leaving me here, and where it calls short, I was never gonna be there. Pulled out the same page, a fading silhouette to be read. I've got a new plan, I can kick the habit and run, and it's a shortfall every time I think that I've won. The sun is always vacant to the state of my head. But maybe if I focus harder, I'll remember who you are. I guess it is a little too far. But maybe if I focus harder, follow the same track, back to your door. Is it the same trap? Getting hard to ignore. The sun is always set to begin. Always the wrong taste, lonely and led. And is it too late? Playing around in your head. And as the night falls down, is it better unsaid? But maybe if I focus harder, I'll remember who you are. Guess it is a little too far. But maybe if I focus harder, it's better to begin than to scatter where you've been across the dark. When you're building up a life and start turning on the light to hit the mark. Got your right to make the show where everybody goes to say they're right. Forget everything I've seen, everyone I've been before tonight. Maybe if I focus harder, I'll remember who you are. So tell me everything you are. The road is just a little too
Little Oceans with Focus Harder, that was their in-session performance, and before that Illuminated. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for their new record, which will be out some stage during this year. Very exciting. Right, don't forget that your band can enter to be selected to open for 660 during their April tour. So make sure you go to theaudience.co.nz for some more information about that. What an excellent opportunity. How cool if you're a fan too. And great exposure. We're all about it. Theaudience.co.nz. Coming in at number 7, it's Kapiti Coast Locals, the No Problemos with Dryleaf.
Number 7.
Looking for the answer from the bottomless pit. You wonder when I cry wolf, I tell you now this is it. She done changed, like the sun and the rain.
Oh, are you kidding me? No, you can't. Number 6.
To know that this is why we call this life of rock and roll.
chosen it. New music, and here it comes. New music number 5.
I just don't forget you. Don't believe. I don't know why.
Okay, gang, number 4. Yeah, very cool.
And I wanna know just where I should go, just where I should go. Oh, 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 oh. And I wanna know whose hand I should hold, so I'm not alone. Yeah.
I just don't believe. And I don't know why. I know you. I know you. I just don't believe. And I don't know why. I just don't. I know you don't believe. And I don't know why. Don't believe. And I don't know why. I know you. I just don't believe. And I don't know why. I just don't. I know you believe. I don't know why. I just don't forget you. Don't believe. I don't know why. I just don't. I know you. I don't know why. I just don't believe. I just don't believe. I don't know why.
Laurier with Where Do You Think You Are? This week's number 5, and prior to that, number 4 was Paterson with This Crazy Road, and this week's number 6, General Leigh, Rock and Roll. Stay with us as we count down to this week's number 1 on the Audience Chart Show, and we'll be back in a moment. Just keep cool. I know you can't wait. I know you...
3.
Number 3, They're Killing Bear with Sea of Despair. You can download that track for free on theaudience.co.nz. I rather like that duo from Wellington's artwork as well. It's kind of psychedelic. Up next, it's Tamsin Miller, aka Chess Countess, at number 2 with Play the Game rap mix.
Do you need to go number 1s or number 2s? Number 2.
I know what you want from me, it ain't hard to see. You sit there laughing, shuffling women frivolously. You play me like a pack of cards, you should be ashamed. I'm trying to call, but just...
chest, Countess.
Every eye in the room is fixed on you, wondering when you're gonna make your move. Good love, I have seen enough. Looking cards as you cannot catch my eye, then a wink while you straighten up your tie. I know the score, I have been here before. Further down into the rabbit hole I go. Always ending up with jokers like you. I know what you want from me, it ain't hard to see. You sit there laughing, shuffling women frivolously. You play me like a pack of cards, you should be ashamed. I'm trying to call, but you say shut your mouth and just play the game. Play the game. Got my chips stacked high on the knave of hearts. What's the betting he's busy stealing tarts? You cheat, you will lose, you will suffer defeat. Come on boy, what you gotta see this time? Got a king or a queen or a nickel or a dime. You got diamonds in your eyes. Is it any surprise? Down into the rabbit hole I go. Spouting riddles with a gardener who is painting roses red. I know what you want from me, it ain't hard to see. You sit there laughing, shuffling women frivolously. You play me like a pack of cards, you should be ashamed. You bet it all, but I won't fold, now you're afraid
Knew of a
to
prince.
play the game.
Yeah, what you know about new face, new name to the game. Here to tell all you frivolous, devious men who think you wanna back a couple. Come to think of all the lies you be speaking to your wife. You be cheating in the weekend, but the times you be creeping on her. Yeah, come to think of what you're gonna tell your baby daughter when she grow up and don't wanna know her father. Yeah, life's too short, so don't waste it. Don't waste it. But breaking hearts, queens and aces. Yeah, easy targets are worse aiming.
On to one matter, don't gamble your life away.
Stop playing.
I know what you want from me, it ain't hard to see. You sit there laughing, shuffling women frivolously. You play me like a pack of cards, you should be ashamed. Climb up the ladder and you'll get bitten by a snake. So don't play the game. Don't play the game.
Okay, ladies and gents, time to unveil this week's coveted #1 position on the audience chart show, but not before I thank Martyn Pepperell for curating his favourite tracks and Josh from Little Oceans for chatting to us today. Don't forget to vote for next week's chart on theaudience.co.nz and find some new favourite performers while you're on there having a little mosey about. I'm Camilla, and that's us done and dusted for another week. Here's #1. It's Gainsford and Jayson Norris with Everything I Need. Take care and see you next time, mates.
#1, baby. See you later.
There's so much more to me now you know me. There's so much more freedom now you freed me. There's so much more love now you love me. There's so much more to give now you've given me everything.